Hello everyone and welcome back to our video series, Building River Oak. Very excited for the second episode today with our head of school, Lisa Smith. Lisa sat down with us this month to talk about River Oak's new building, her role in that building, and what it looks like for the future of River Oak. Take a look. Hey River Oak family, I'm here with Lisa Smith. Very excited, our amazing head of school. Lisa, thank you for taking today to kind of chat with us a little bit about the new school.
Yeah.
Here we are sitting here, which is pretty amazing, pretty exciting.
It is amazing.
We're actually sitting in your office, sort of. I hope no one on watching right now ever gets to sit where I'm sitting when it's done. I feel like that's kind of, you never want to go there for a bad reason.
Exactly.
But no, we're excited. Thank you for taking the time today to kind of talk with us a little bit about what we're doing, what River Oak is doing, kind of where we're moving through. So can you give us a little bit of introduction on just who you are for the people out there who may be new to our video series that may not necessarily know you or just kind of know exactly what your role is?
Yeah, I'm Lisa Smith. I've been blessed to be the head of school at River Oak Christian Academy for the past, I just finished my 8th year. So in the 24-25 school year, I'm looking forward to starting year 9. We have done a lot in the last 8 years and are getting ready to move in about a year to this beautiful new location. We're just excited to see how the Lord just continues to bless River Oak Christian Academy and its kingdom and the work that's being done.
And you wear many, many, many hats, but one of these hats is the construction committee. You have a role on that. Can you give us a little bit of a description on what that role is that you have on the construction committee as well?
Yeah, so we started out just figuring out what the needs of a new school would be, just as far as how many classrooms and what we needed for extras. And, we based a lot of that information on just what our needs were, but also we looked at a feasibility study that we did with our stakeholders about 3 years ago. And some of the results that came back from that was just the desire, and it was everybody's desire for bigger, larger classrooms, as well as gym space and outdoor green space with large playground and space for the kids to be able to run and play and, be able to incorporate athletic events as well.
Very good. And in our first video, we talked with Sean and from Curtis Madison Schulte and Grant from the construction committee as well. And, one of the things that, we're excited for is the ability to have new spaces. We haven't really gotten to do that in the buildings we have because we've been leasing those buildings. Those walls were set.
Yeah.
You can see behind us that those walls aren't set right now. So we got some really exciting new spaces coming up. And can you kind of elaborate a little bit on those spaces?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've been able to do that was an answer to that feasibility study is to create larger spaces. The classrooms will be larger, but in addition to that, we're going to have exciting things like, a science lab and dedicated spaces as far as cafeteria and art room, library, things that for a while have been shared spaces with other things and not being able to be the dedicated standalone spaces. So that's really exciting, as well as that additional gym that will just be a gym and not be a flex space.
And how do you see that elevating River Oak? I mean, that's aside from just a number perspective, but just from a maybe curriculum perspective, but then also just from a school in general, being able to offer those newer spaces, those labs we haven't had before, that gymnasium, just those dedicated rooms to those. How do you see that elevating River Oak?
I think that it allows us academically to reach in a different way. Being able to bring in STEM activities, have space to do these activities, being able to offer some things that are after school, such as clubs and extracurricular activities. Even our fine arts program, to be able to, have a space where we can actually host our own concerts, being able to have a space where we can, accommodate our veterans breakfast or our grandparents' day, those kind of things where people can adequately flow through the space.
I think it's going to provide kind of what I hear you saying there. It's going to provide a lot of opportunity for us, and it's going to have a tremendous amount of impact on our student body, but then also I'm sure just teachers in general, staff, and administration, and having those areas we really have lacked, for lack of a better phrase, and we've lacked that. And So it seems like it's going to be a lot of really, really cool things moving forward.
Yeah, you kind of hit it there in that we've had to be so creative for so long.
Yeah.
So there's that feeling of a teacher of, oh, am I going to have to change classrooms this year? And they do it so willingly with a smile on their face, but no one wants to have to shift their classroom over this summer because of the shift to accommodate for a larger class or the different things that may come up. So
right, and it's not it's not just the opportunities either. I'm sure there's an educational impact for the kids. And can you maybe speak to a little bit about what that educational impact could look like?
well, the other thing that is in the plans in the design and layout here is that we're going to be able to offer 2 sections of each grade. So, being able to hold to our smaller class sizes and just being able to do that is a huge thing. That time, that ratio with the teacher and that staffing is important.
Yeah.
And it's something that we strongly believe in.
And I think one of those two things, when you think about the educational aspect of it, one thing that comes to mind for me, and Sean kind of brought it up in the last video that we did, but that will inevitably impact the community.
Oh.
I think that's one thing that we've discussed multiple times, and I'm sure the construction committee and the board and just everyone associated with River Oak right now has talked about is what's this going to do for our community. Mm-hmm. And I would love to get a little bit of insight from you on how you maybe see, how can we bring Christ into this community through what we're achieving and doing at River Oak in this new building?
Well, that's kind of one of the things that is just going to be such a gift to the community is that because we're going to be able to increase our number, we're going to be able to increase the amount of kids that we're sending off into the community. Our kids are going to feed into any of the area high schools. That could be Capital City, that could be Jefferson City, that could be Calvary, Helias. Our kids are going to be equipped and ready to go into those other school systems. And I think, the more kids that we're able to equip and be ready academically, spiritually, socially, emotionally, that's just a benefit for all.
Absolutely. And I think one great thing is the parents won't just feel that, the staff will feel that, all of our stakeholders from the community who had a hand in what we do on a day-to-day basis, our volunteers, our churches, I think they're all going to feel that as well. And so I think that's one thing I know you and I are both very excited about and we've talked in length about, but just can you speak to a little bit about, those people who may not necessarily know exactly what River Oak is doing here right now, a little bit about those partnerships and really what it's taking to make this possible?
Well, one of our big things is that we are sticking to our mission and we're impacting the world for Christ. And that's a huge piece that, we work on in our classrooms, through personal discipleship in the middle school grades. And it's something that we take very seriously. Academics obviously is very important and our kids score very well, but we want to make sure that not only they academically ready, but they're spiritually ready as well. And in this process, God has just made that so prevalent and apparent in that even through this construction process, I have seen just the team that he's put together, the construction team, the architects and the designers, Sean Schulte and his team, everybody is working together with that common goal. And all you can just see in the hearts and in the heart posturing that everybody is just, they have the same center, that it is on these kids and what they're going to do for Christ, what they're going to do for our community. You can see that that's everybody's goal and everybody is just working towards that just being a goal that's achieved.
And there's so many different layers and avenues of approach that I think we're taking to achieve that. Like you said, it takes architects, it takes the builders, it takes donors, it takes parents, it takes staff. Everyone is coming together to really, at the end of the day, have an impact on these kids and really set them up for future success, right? And that's what we want, and ultimately disciple them to be followers of Christ.
Absolutely.
And I think that at the end of the day, that's what we all want. And you see it with those different stakeholders, and that's vitally important. And I love that you touched on that, because I think that not many people get to see that every day, but that's exactly what's happening. And I think it's phenomenal.
And it's intentional.
But yeah, very much so.
It's absolutely intentional.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the best things I think we can do is be intentional about that. And when we're talking about future of River Oak, what does that look like? I think we get a lot of the question of beyond this building, but just for this building, what is the future for this building? What's that going to look like, in a few years here?
Well, I pray that God would continue to bless us with the students and the families, that we could make a bigger fingerprint in this community, that we would be able to, through our churches, through individual supporters, that we would be able to have more students that are able to come to River Oak, that through their testimony that others would see God's work in their life, and that would continue that domino of just that impact onto others, and letting their light shine within our community and others, wherever God sends them.
With the viewers out there and kind of what they're wanting to know, how can they become involved? Not just maybe from a monetary or donor perspective, while that's very important and we need that, what other ways can they get involved?
Well, I think probably the number one thing is prayer. Put us on your prayer list. Put the workers that are spending their days here preparing this beautiful building for us, put them on your prayer list. Just feel free to take a spot in the parking lot and pray. After hours, walk around the building. All these things are, intentional ways, because, there is no doubt in my mind that this is a place that God has placed in this community for his purpose. And, just being a part of that is just part of being in the kingdom.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, thank you for the time. Any final thoughts, anything you want to share with our viewers here, and just let them know?
Probably just thank you. Thank you to all that are and continue to be a part of River Oak, whether that's a supporter or a prayer warrior, whoever you are, whatever you are, we're so very grateful to you, and I thank you.
Well, I'm going to say this on behalf of all of our viewers, but I believe they would share the same sentiment. But thank you for what you do. Thank you for what Jacob does. Thank you for what your staff does day in and day out, pouring love into our kids. That's a job that goes thankless a lot of the time. But we recognize it, we see it, and we just want to thank you for the hard work you guys are putting in, for the hard work you put in behind the scenes that no one even knows about. We thank you for that. We are beyond blessed to call you our head of school, and we just thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to come out and sit with me in your office, and hopefully I never have to sit in your office again, and hopefully my kids, if they're watching, never have to sit here as well. But thank you, I appreciate it, and God bless you, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you all enjoyed that episode as much as I did. Please tune in next time when we talk to the last members of our construction committee about their roles and the reason why they decided to get involved. Thank you all, God bless, and hope you all enjoy the rest of your summer. Take care.